Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Lone Star Podcast. Super duper excited right now.
Oh,
Miss Bri Bagwell is joining the show, and like I said, can't be more excited. How you doing, Bri?
I'm good. I got like a nap today, so I'm like 15 minutes late, but it was so worth it. I feel like a new human being.
Yeah.
So doing great.
So 10-hour road trip today, no big deal?
Yeah, today, and then, we took a show in Snyder last night, and so me and Mark McKinney road tripped 5 hours to play one show, and then 5 hours back this morning, and then loaded up in Austin, and I drove down to Houston. So long day, but I love being on the road. I'm happiest when I'm gone from home.
Well, why is that?
I'm not sure. The act of leaving is always really tough. Like the packing and the unpacking and the franticness and taking out the trash and making sure the bills are paid. But once I get on the road, whether I'm in the van or whether I'm driving by myself, I am just like at peace. I don't know.
Is that like a sense of adventure thing, maybe?
I think I've just been doing it for so long. Like, I don't think I felt this way, say 7 years ago, but I feel like that now. Like, I've kind of settled into, like, this is my normal. Like, being on the road is my normal. And that sounds so weird. But once I'm hitting the pavement, headed to a show, I just feel like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing again.
Yeah. Just feels right.
It feels right every
that's
time.
Good. Well, that's good. So let's dive a little bit into how we got started in the music world.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know how far back you want to go, but
we'll get the brief version.
Okay. I was going to say, how much time do we got? Well, I started playing music when I was 14. My brothers, I have twin brothers, they're 7 years older, and they had a band because they were in college, and that was the cool thing to do. They were 21, and we started a cover band, and so I was playing in the bars at 14.
Wow.
And that's how I was hooked since then, but I would play Thursday night till 1, 2 in the morning and get up and go to volleyball practice at 7:30 a.m.
What did mom and dad think about that?
I know. Mom was always a little hesitant. She was like not sure that her 14-year-old daughter should be doing that, but they let me, and they would go because they would have to go legally. My parents would have to be there to let me play in the bar because I wasn't even 18.
Wow.
And so they would go to every show, and that was just our life.
So growing up, so it was a family deal growing up then. Everybody was kind of involved. That's cool.
Yeah, and my uncles play, actually I call him my uncle, but he's my cousin. He played for Kenny Chesney for 9 years, steel guitar. And he mailed me my first guitar, actually, to my dorm room in college. But my mom's brother had a band growing up. My mom can play a little lap steel, a little piano. My dad plays guitar and sings. So it was kind of not my fault that I play music. It's their fault, I guess. Yeah.
So 18, you go to UT?
Yes, got accepted into University of Texas, and I actually only applied there and to ASU. Those were the only two places that I applied. And I got accepted into both, but UT was always my dream school because Austin was a music city.
Yeah.
So once I got accepted, I kind of was like, man, I got to go. So I moved to Austin at 18, and I didn't know a single person.
Coming from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yep, hometown. Glad you mentioned that. I love my hometown. I love my home state. So I'm not a Texan, but I'm an import. I've been here 12 years, so honorary Texan.
So you met my wife last week, right? Or at Galveston a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yes, and beautiful.
And so beautiful. I was going to add that. You beat me to it. Yeah.
So she grew up in Clarendon, Texas, which is up near Amarillo.
Oh, wow.
And then went to high school, spent her high school days in Silver City, I believe.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So she had cousins that lived in Las Cruces and all that stuff, and so she's real familiar with the area. And then when she found out you were, she was like, instant fan, automatic,
no
right?
Way.
Yeah. So that's real cool.
That is cool. My dad played basketball at Western, New Mexico,
Really?
which is in Silver City.
Oh, really?
And proposed to my mom in Silver City. So
wow.
I like that town a lot.
Yeah, cool, cool. So what was the big change moving from Las Cruces to Austin, Texas?
I remember like the first time I ventured out to go to Target, and I had to get on like a major interstate. And I was terrified. I mean, we don't really have... we have an interstate, but
nothing like 35.
No, nothing like I-35. And I was like mortified. And that was, of course, back before iPhones and Google Maps and all that. So for me, just the city life was crazy, and the amount of people. And and not knowing anybody, and also like UT prides itself on being a very diverse college, and it really was. It was just people from every country. It was really neat to get submerged into that. Very different for sure.
Yeah. I imagine. I spent a little over a year in Austin myself, going to school, not UT, but went to school up there, room with some friends, and yeah, it's a different town. It certainly is.
It really is, and I love it. I actually live there now again. I keep moving back there, and I love living there. It's a really great town. I mean, there's something for everybody there.
Yeah.
Even people are like, you wouldn't fit in Austin. I think everybody fits in Austin.
Yeah.
You find your group of people.
Everybody's got a place in Austin, for sure. That's for sure.
As long as you like the Sunday fun day, you will be okay in Austin.
Yeah. So when you were in UT, were you so how did the music kind of turn out there? I mean, what were you doing to keep the music vibes alive?
Well, at that time, I was still playing with my band back home, my brother's band, so I'd fly home and play some stuff with them still. But that's my freshman year is when I learned to play guitar, taught myself how to play guitar. And it actually wasn't until my senior year, Curtis Grimes was playing a show on 6th Street, and he called me up to play a song. And the bar owner that night gave me my very first show.
Wow.
On 6th Street. Yeah, so that's how I got my first show. And it was opening up for Ryan Beaver and Ben Danaher on Monday nights. And then he gave me my own Friday happy hour. And then from then on, I just kind of kept getting more and more bookings until I randomly met my first booking agent. But yeah, that's how I got my first show. And I remember being terrified to play it. It was like an hour show, but I didn't know that many songs on the guitar yet.
Yeah. That's...
So I was kind of...
Well, how did you make that work?
I don't know. I remember my fingers hurting so badly. I mean, now I don't even think about it. I can't feel them. But I remember just like having to tell a lot of stories and tell a lot of really bad jokes to get through it.
Which you're excellent at, by the way.
Oh, gosh. Well, sometimes...
Well, now they're good stories and good jokes, but you've had a little practice. But
I tell a lot of the same ones, and sometimes the band will poke fun at me because they know what's coming. But... when you play over 150 times a year, I can't come up with 150 new ways to tell a story or a joke. So some of them are recycled, you could say.
That's all right, though. Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's one thing that stands out with me watching you is how much fun you are up on stage.
Oh,
that's
thanks.
what really, first time I ever saw you was at Frog Fest 2015.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Something around there. Maybe 2016. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the first annual.
I think it was 15.
I think it was 15. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So we went out there just because it's big. We're live in Galveston County, big event going on. Let's just go check this thing out. Brought our lawn chairs, sat down, had a blast, and then you come up, started rocking the house. I'm like, who's this little gal? And you, like I said, just fun. There's a difference in you watching you play and how much fun and everything, the stories you tell and all that stuff. I'm like, that girl gets it. So
well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We love to have fun on stage.
Yeah.
So
well,
no shortage of fun around here.
Well, yeah. Why do it if you're not, right?
Exactly.
So yeah,
totally. And I love
cool.
like you were at the acoustic show, which I think is a totally different thing, and I've actually started to do a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
For a long time I didn't do that, so now I'm kind of transitioning back into playing some more acoustic stuff, which is fun. It's fun for me.
Good.
Yeah, less people to pay.
As a fan, I can tell you I enjoy acoustic shows more. I shouldn't say more, but I enjoy acoustic shows in the sense that it's more personable.
Right.
I get to hear your stories. You get to kind of interact with the crowd a little bit more and stuff like that. So as a fan of music, watching artists, do that, it's enjoyable for me to be there to witness that and enjoy all that acoustic show stuff. So
well, I'm glad you enjoy it, because I do too. And I got a bunch of I'm starting to do a bunch of private acoustic stuff too, which is a little different, but it's been fun too, and it's a good way for us if we can get those shows. Those shows are what's paying for my record and paying for the band to keep going. Yeah.
The record is coming out.
Well, I go on Sunday. That's in 2 days, and I'm gonna put, I think, the rest of the harmonies, and then I will be done with my part. So at that point, it's just mixing and mastering and editing, and that's all kind of like as I can afford it. I think people don't understand too, like how much just the post-production costs. I mean, and then to get the CDs actually printed, it's $1,400 just for 1,000 CDs, and then I want to print vinyls, so the cost into post production. So it's going to come out as quick as I can afford it, but I'm setting a goal to have them printed by like July.
Okay.
So soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Vinyls are coming back, right?
They are. And you know what? You're going to like this because I like your hat. But we're going to print red vinyls, I think.
That'd be awesome.
So I'm excited. Like a limited pressing.
Well, I'm definitely going to get one.
Yay,
so
thanks.
I have a Texas country vinyl collection going.
What?
But I don't have a record player.
Well, that's a necessary component. But I got that $30 one from Target. It looks like a suitcase. It is awesome.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
I keep hinting to my wife that's a good gift for her to give me.
Perfect gift
for Christmas or whatever, right? And she hasn't done it yet, so I might have to do it for myself.
Well, she'll get there.
Yeah.
We're hinting again. Right now.
Love it. So yeah, that's awesome. So July timeframe. How has the digital world changed? The whole CD, vinyl. I mean, like I said, vinyl's on a comeback, but as far as CDs go, that's just you sell at your show, right? Basically.
Yeah. So it's changed like everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was talking to my management the other day about next year iTunes isn't even going to sell MP3s. Did you hear that?
I did not know that.
Like a year from now.
So they're just going to stream everything?
I think it's just streaming,
wow.
Which is so crazy. So I'm kind of taking this and treating this as like my last attempt to make, a Billboard chart or something, because it's going to probably just be going away, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that with this record we can get like a number one on iTunes or something that I can always hang on to. But we talked about that too the other day, is how the cost of making a record. This record's going to cost me double what the last one cost. So the cost of recording for me has increased, but what you're making off a record has really gone down. I mean, I remember when my first record came out, I made a significant chunk of change the week that it came out, and it was so important. And now it's like you don't even know what you're going to make off of a release anymore. You know, people might go just stream it, and that income is obviously like significantly lower than if someone buys it. But the cool thing about Texas is, like, people still buy records at shows, and I still sell records every night, and it's actually like my top seller at merch, because people want something you can sign and something they can take away, and a lot of people still buy CDs, so I'm thankful for that, and I hope that doesn't change for a while. Yeah, because I don't know what we're gonna do when it does change.
That's scary. Yeah, I didn't know that.
A lot of cars don't even have CD players anymore.
That's true.
I don't know, but I guess we'll all just adapt and find new ways to make money. I am personally sad because I think that there's so much, like, I loved buying records. I remember going to Hastings to buy Randy Rogers' record and standing in line when it came out and couldn't wait to get in the car to listen to the new record, and I think that's all going away.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
That is sad. Oh, bummer.
I know. Can we change the subject now?
I'll say this. When I go to a live show and I see somebody, this is a perfect example. In 2012-ish, I was in Corpus Christi, Texas. We're at Concrete Street Amphitheater, Memorial Day weekend, something like that. So it was Cody Johnson opening with Turnpike Troubadours and Sony LaRue and Randy Rogers.
Yeah.
And lineup from hell, right?
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of Cody Johnson before.
Awesome.
Turnpike, I'd heard on the Badlands radio down there a little bit, but still they were kind of new to me. And then, of course, I knew Stoney and Randy. So Cody Johnson comes up, rocks the house. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then my wife's with me. And so we go down, buy a CD. She buys a hat, buys a shirt. She always gets a hat and a shirt or whatever from somebody. She got one of your shirts last week.
Oh, I remember.
And so we go back and we sit down, and Turnpike comes up. And I'm like, these guys are kick-ass. Go up, buy a CD, buy a shirt. And not even that I listen to the CD, whatever, but I myself personally have always been, I want to support you guys.
Right.
And I tell other people this all the time. I was like, if you enjoy, whatever you like, support it. Your money is what counts. I mean, if you just turn on the regular radio and listen to whatever's coming out of Nashville, and then just do that. But if you enjoy the Texas scene and the Texas music, go to the shows, buy the merchandise, get stuff. I was like, that's how you support these folks. So
100%.
Yeah.
And like a CD for us, a CD doesn't cost as much to make. And then if people, I sell them for $10 and that goes straight into our gas tank.
Yeah.
And we appreciate, every night merch sales keep us on the road. So we appreciate people buying them. And I still remember getting that first Cody Johnson record and just wearing it out.
Yeah.
And him and I we had the same booking agent for a little while back when I first started. In Texas, it was my first booking agent, and I same thing. I remember seeing him for the first time and being blown away.
Yeah.
And he still blows me away every time.
Yeah.
And I sent my new record, part of it, to Jody, plays fiddle for Cody, the other night, and I was like, man, here's part of my new record. And he said they were listening to it on the bus. I said, I'm so nervous. I just want it to be good. I want people to like it. And he said, well, bad news, that'll never go away. You're always, from here on out, you're always going to be nervous about that release. Your first record, everything sounds so good and you're so pumped. And then the older you get, the more you're like, uh-oh, what if this is a fail? You feel a little more pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling that right now with this record.
You'll be right. I believe in you.
I'm excited about it. I was listening to it today, and I still really like everything. So
Yeah. So when you put out something like that, this is just my curiosity. Do you always go back and hear stuff and you're like, oh, I could tweak that here, or I should have done this there? Do you have you're still always kind of tweaking it as the time goes?
Yeah, and there's like certain songs off old records that, I'm like, wow, what was I thinking? And I hate this part. But I think the biggest thing for an artist, like, no matter what it comes to, like, you have to forgive yourself a little bit, because in the time you can't see everything perfectly at the time. And there's definitely things I would change, but the older I get, the more I'm learning to just kind of like forgive it and let go, and your sound changes and evolves. But I think I look at artists like Miranda, her sound has changed and evolved, and she might look back and hate something. I would never hate anything she's ever done, but she might feel that same way. It's okay to change and be different than you were when you started.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what it's about.
Well, everybody changes in life. Personality. 4 years ago, didn't know what a podcast was or would have talked to you about it or anything, and here we are now, right?
So, I know. I'm proud of you doing this. This is really cool, and especially for independent people like me, everything helps.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what's the end goal? What's the future? What's the goals after the record comes out? Where does Bri Bagwell want to go?
Well, I was thinking about maybe trying to shop this record to some labels, and that's still an option, just to see what happens. But we're booking shows all the way through the end of this year and even into next year already. So the touring is not going to stop, that's for sure. I already have contracts, but I'm thinking I really just want to see what happens with this next record and not make any concrete plans or decisions about my life, and see what happens. Things could either really change with this record or they could not change. So I don't want to make any plans. I know, like, I've kind of set in my mind, maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, I really want to, like, have a family. Obviously, I'm a girl, so that you've got to think about those things. It's not like I can be a man and just go out on the road all the time. Like, you don't have to be pregnant and stuff. So I do think about that, but that's definitely a few years down the road. Yeah. So for now, I'm just gonna really put everything I have into this record and throw it all out there.
Well, good.
Yeah.
We hope all the best for that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So
thanks.
What's the worst thing about touring on the road?
The worst?
The worst. The worst.
Well, I think because we were talking about this on a different podcast, and he said, what's the worst thing about being a girl on the road? And everything that I was saying, he's like, well, those are just the worst things in general.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about that question a lot, because I didn't answer it how he wanted me to answer it. I think he wanted to know specifically as a female.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, just like, as far as being a girl, the amount of time it takes me to get ready, the outfits, the hair, the makeup, the jewelry, my guys can get ready in 5 minutes and look amazing and roll out of the van and be fine. And for me, it just doesn't work that way. I'm always putting on makeup in the van, or trying to wake up an hour early to wash my hair. Like, those are just things that, they can always get an extra hour of their day that I don't have. For us too, I think like we're still in a van and trailer, and there's just always so many expenses. Like having like a tour bus or a really nice van would really help us out. I mean, we don't have that, so that's probably the worst part of touring is not having like a place to go. We don't have a place where we can hang out or get ready or sleep, really get good sleep. So the strenuous van life, I would say.
Yeah. Are there places that you go where you know folks and you just like, hey, I'm going to be at the show and we crash at their place or whatever for the night? Or is that an often occurrence?
Yeah, I really like to have alone time. So if we get hotels, I'll usually definitely use them. If we don't get hotels, it depends on what we're going through. You know, if our van's in the shop, we'll crash more with friends. I always find though that a lot of times people want to hang out and drink all night, and I really like my sleep, and I kind of need my sleep to not be a grumpy human. So we'll try and avoid that. But actually, people surprise me so much with how giving they are with their homes and their food and people are so welcoming, and like it blows me away. Not that I wouldn't be like that, but I guess I'm never really home, so I don't know how I'd feel about 5 strangers coming in and taking over my fridge. I don't think I would like that. And people are just so giving all the time, and I love that about this scene.
That's
they
cool.
don't know my band, and they're like, come sleep in my bed, and you know, I'm gonna make you mama's.
We got couches
spaghetti.
and air mattresses, and
yeah, and we've done it, and we still do it. We don't do it as much as we used to, but we still do it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's fun.
Sometimes it's nice to have a home.
Yeah.
You know, instead of a hotel.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And that home cooked meal becomes the valued thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I have to avoid it because I'll be at the show like I can't move because I've been eating a home cooked meal, and then they have dessert, and then, we were there last night in Snyder, the place we played. There was the couple that helped put it on. They were like, we got brisket and mashed potatoes, and we went and ate brisket and mashed potatoes at their house and drank their wine at midnight last night. And I was never been more thankful for brisket in my life. I was so hungry.
So what was I gonna say? What else do you have time for anything else in your life besides music and touring? I mean, what else are you into that you enjoy? I mean, movies or any sport or fitness activities or anything like that. I mean, what else are you into?
Well, I try to work out. I feel like I kind of have to because I'm on stage, but I really like to cycle. I like hiking. I like, I used to run a lot more, but I like to try and stay active. I love to cook, actually. And when I'm home, I will cook every night that I'm home. I don't go eat out or anything. I love to cook. And I love to read. I wouldn't say I'm really into movies, but I have been on like a Netflix thing lately. I love to craft. I'm always making stuff. I'm making wreaths and anything I have time for. Actually, like now I'm like in the middle of launching a jewelry collection.
Okay.
So I'm trying to kind of get my hands into different things to expand my revenue streams maybe a little bit. So I like fashion and jewelry but it's all like by the time I get home and unpack and repack and do laundry, I pretty much don't have time for anything else.
Well, you're talking about 150 shows a year.
Last year was 180, which I cannot believe.
Woo.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. Wow.
Yeah. Doesn't count like, travel days.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just
radio and
and stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a lot. I would like to do something else. Like I've always wanted to be a yoga instructor, and I thought I was going to make that my New Year's resolution, but I was like, I'm going to put out a record this year. My New Year's resolution is just going to be to get the record out and call it good. It's enough.
Well, I don't even know. How would you be a yoga instructor on your schedule? That's I need to work on your New Year's resolutions.
Us artists, we just I have a little bit of ADD, so my brain is always like here.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm a functional ADD person. I think that's why I drink wine. Brings me down a little bit.
What are we cooking?
Well,
like to cook?
I do Blue Apron.
Okay.
Because It takes me like 45 minutes. If I have to pick out something to cook, I'll scroll through Pinterest and my whole day will be gone before I make a decision.
Goes into the cooking, yes.
Exactly. So Blue Apron like chooses it for me and then sends it to my door and then I cook it. I'm not much of a baker, but I mean I love sweets, but I like to more like experiment. I love cooking Mexican food is my favorite because that's what I grew up on.
Y'all got the green chilies rocking.
Oh yeah, we do. And Mom sends green chilies back with me every time we go home, so I'll have to bring you some of those.
Well, we have a steady stream. I have my brother and sister-in-law. My wife's sister lives in
Hatch? No.
Seminole, Texas, which is across the border from Hobbs, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And so they are often sending us packing with green chili, roasted green chilies. We have a freezer full. So
I love it.
My wife cooks everything with green chilies, and it's awesome, and I don't complain.
She just became my favorite human. Funny story, my friend Steve Helms, who I love dearly, I sent him some green chilies one time, and he sent me a picture, and I was on stage, so I didn't get it until later, and I said, oh my gosh, please tell me you didn't eat them like that. He didn't peel them or take the seeds out. I think people don't know that you have to do that.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I didn't know anything about green chilies until I met my wife, and coincidentally, I met her at the same time I went to work in Dumas, Texas, which is north of Amarillo.
Is that how you say that? We always wonder.
Dumbass, Texas.
Yeah, we were just gonna skip over that.
Pronounced Dumas. You remember that commercial?
No.
That was a commercial back in the day where
That's
he's
funny.
Mr. Dumbass. Yeah. No, Dumas, Texas, how they pronounce it.
That's so funny.
But so I'm up there and they have green chili chicken Alfredo and green chili burgers and green chili this and that. And I told her, what's up with all this green chili stuff? And she's like, that's New Mexico and this and that. And so then when I got back, she started cooking everything we got. She's like, bring me back some, because again, she likes to cook everything. With those green chilies.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
I always I want to start like a green chili exporting business. Like
you can't get them down here.
I know, and you can ship them, but it's very expensive to ship with the dry ice, and it's very heavy. So maybe we'll just have like a little when I go home, I'll bring everybody back green chili for a price.
I will definitely pay for your wine.
There we go. We can do that. I love it.
Make a trade.
Love it.
Yeah, they actually have a green chili festival in Houston once a year where they do have a bunch, and we've gone up there, but they don't roast them always. They just have, here's green chilies. And we're just like, okay, well, thanks, I guess.
My mom has the cutest, I don't know where she got it, but it's a little tiny roaster, and it's got the little tiny propane tank and the little tiny flame, and it turns by itself, and it's so cute. So
that's awesome.
We can always roast green chilies, and I'll wake up and smell it, and it's just so good.
It is. People don't know down here. People don't know. I didn't know.
Well, maybe that's where my next call. Look at my ADD kicking in right now. I'm like, that's my next calling. We can distribute green chili to the world.
Spread it to the world.
Yeah.
I love it. So who's got the best food in Texas?
Oh my God. In Texas?
In Texas.
That's so hard, because we go to so many small towns and we'll eat there, just mom and pop down home cooking.
Away, right?
Totally.
Yes.
Like all the time.
What's something that stand out?
I know. I'm trying to think. Last time where we were that I just like the only thing I can think of, I just ate at the gristmill the other day.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
The best food.
Dude, I just love that whole area.
I do too. But the food is so good. I mean, I was just blown away. Everything I've ever had there is really good. I'm trying to think of where else we were. Every time we go to a town, people are always trying to feed us their barbecue because they're like, we got the best barbecue in
Everybody
Texas.
Has the best barbecue, right?
I know. I'm trying to think of I try to eat really healthy. It doesn't work, but I try really hard. I like going to Corpus a lot. I feel like I have good food in Corpus. You know where? In Galveston, I ate at that seafood place.
Guido's?
Yes.
Yes. Big crab out front?
Yes.
Guido's.
And I had to sit at the bar because there was no tables. It was amazing.
Yeah. Guido's has it going on.
That was
for sure.
really good.
Yeah.
That was so good. I'm trying to think of where else I was last week that I ate. I'll think of some more here in a bit. But we played at the Greek Brothers Oyster Bar in Ocampo last week. That food was incredible.
I think I've heard of that actually.
Yes,
yeah.
It was so good. And free. Free food is my favorite.
What?
Yeah. So that was really good. I love bars that have food too.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Austin, where's your go-to spots?
Austin, besides my kitchen, let me think.
Well, not just for food, just to hang out. If you want to go watch some live music somewhere, do you do that?
Oh my gosh, there's like so many places. I love to go to the Saxon Pub. I go there all the time.
Saxon Pub, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just sneak in the back in my workout clothes and no makeup. I go to Saxon all the time. I love. I can't remember. It's a beer garden. It might just be called Austin Beer Garden.
Bangers Sausage House and Beer Garden?
No, but it's. I think it really might be just called that. I love to go there.
Yeah.
So good. And then where Mike and the Moon Pies had their release party, that place. It's like a train station or something. Look, I'm really failing this test. But I like to go there too. I'll have to look up where that is.
Do they have a caboose at the caboose?
Let me just text somebody.
So Wade Bowen opened up a halfway barbecue joint in Alvin called the Caboose.
With my friend Jessica.
Oh yeah?
Who used to be at the Redneck Country Club, and they opened it up, and I haven't been there yet, but I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's a cool spot. Real cool spot. Yeah,
shout out to them, because I've been actually trying to get in there to play, and we haven't been able to make it work.
Dude, so they have really good young people coming in there and playing on Saturdays and Sundays. Little couple guys, whatever. They had some guy in there, a 17-year-old kid singing Silver Wings and all kinds of, like, just, whoa, where did he come from? And just covering all kinds of songs. It was badass.
Jessica and Wade, they know their music, so I'm sure there's nothing but good music in there. Yeah, that's really going to bug me what this place is called. I'm telling him, can you pause the real fast? I'm just kidding.
That's all right.
I really want to know what it's called, because
the people can wait.
I'm like, is it live?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was
You're
like,
good.
I really want to know what
I'll
it's
edit
called.
it all out. Not really.
Okay. Edit it, don't. Where was that place we went? Okay.
So I'm going to be in Austin next week.
When?
Next week.
Oh, I'm going to be in Nashville.
I know. You're going to be gone.
Do you need a place to stay?
No, no. I have a friend of mine who lives up there that I'm going to stay with.
Awesome.
So he has dreadlocks, and he sells boats, so he's a pirate.
I love this man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What does he do? Oh, he sells boats. Where does he live?
I don't know, actually. So he just started his new venture in Austin, like, last month, a month or two ago. So he actually did the first podcast with me on this show,
cool.
Cody Gaspard, and has been a friend of mine forever. He's really one of the main guys that got me into Texas country music to begin with.
Cool.
So shout out to him.
Good for him.
And so anyways, I'm going to stay with him, and the reason why I mentioned Banger Sausage House and Beer Garden is they're coming on next week.
Cool.
And yeah, so I'm sitting down with that guy, I can't remember.
I'm gonna have to go there then. I haven't been.
Oh, it's a really cool spot.
Okay, because I'm really home Monday, Tuesday, and I'll cook and be a hobbit and not talk to anybody. But I will make an exception. To go there.
And then we're talking with the historical coordinator for the Alamo, Texas history.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So next week we got some cool stuff lined up.
I know. Good for you.
Thank you.
Proud of you. It's awesome.
Proud of you too.
Oh, thanks. I just drink wine and play guitar for a living.
That's
and
it.
Whiskey. We're about to switch to whiskey here in about 30 minutes.
It's gonna get real serious.
I know. Oh, Samstown Point is what it's called.
Samstown Point. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have to check that place out.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'll be up there next week, so I'll go check them out.
You should. There's a bunch. There's always good people playing there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Good deal. Songwriting.
Yes.
You're good at it.
Oh. Well, I hope so. Actually, a lot of people don't know that I wrote for Sony for 3 years up in Nashville. I had a publishing deal with Sony, and I got to write for a salary. And I did that for 3 years, which is crazy. I probably wrote like 150 songs when I was with them. So
did they own those songs, or do you? How's that work?
They will own those songs for eternity.
Okay.
But only half of the publishing side of it. So I still get the writing credit it's really more complicated than even I understand, and more than we have time to talk about, of course.
Okay.
But they'll own half of my publishing for those songs. So when I was doing this record, I was already had 5 of the songs for the second half picked out, and we were going to go record them. And they were all songs that I'd written while I was at Sony. And my producer said, you know what? I think you should she's like, these 5 songs you can record anytime. She said, if you're going to make a record, you should make a record about where you are in your life right now at this moment. And these songs should have a message. And I was like a little offended at first. And then I thought, you know what? I think she's really right about this, which she's usually right about everything. So for, I think 6 weeks it was, she would give a word to a group of people, and we would write a song each about that word, and then we'd share them like a songwriting group, And I replaced every song that I was going to record on the record with a brand new song. So not only are these like the new 4 that I'm about to finish recording, they're all independent of Sony. They're also like super current and super recent. So I feel like this record got like really personal. Like all of a sudden, I was just trying to put the best songs that I had, and now it's like I'm putting the most personal, current songs that I have. And so it's taken on a whole different form, but I'm super proud of them. And if they weren't better songs than the other ones, she wouldn't have wanted to record them. So she's really challenged me in that way. And it's cool because I don't know if you know Brian Keene, but he was, when I first started in the Texas scene, he was probably my favorite Texas artist and songwriter, and he's written a bunch of great songs for Randy and Wade and Josh Abbott, and but he had his own stuff that was really great, and that's my producer's husband. My producer's also an amazing songwriter, so to be in this group with these 3 people has been very inspiring and challenging, and being on the road every weekend and writing 1 song a week.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it, so I'm still writing 1 song a week and touring, and it's crazy.
That's really cool, though.
But I think it's important, like, to schedule songwriting. A lot of times, like, as a songwriter, you just wait to feel inspired, or you don't feel like it, and you have to force yourself to write like a discipline. And if you don't do that, I mean, I went like 4 months without writing a song last year. And that's just lack of discipline.
Yeah. Well, you hear comics say that too. Comedians that get up on stage, they say you got to sit down and write jokes.
Right.
And you got to force yourself, even if it's junk. You got to get that creative juices going and stuff. And that's a lot of folks say. I think your writer's block and all that stuff or whatever, but kind of in all aspects of creatism, I guess. You know?
I read Steve Martin's book was one of the best books I've ever read, because hearing him talk about telling jokes for an empty crowd, like, that blew my mind, because a lot of times, like, singing songs for an empty crowd totally sucks, but I think it would be way worse being a comedian and not hearing anybody laugh. Yeah. And so I always think about, like, if we have a bad show or we don't have a good crowd, I'm like, well, it could be worse. I could be a comedian. Yeah. Telling jokes for nobody has got to be the hardest thing in the entire world.
Yeah. There's some Chris Rock stories where he would go put on a show, and then he would go out into the street and do a show for like 12 people out in the street and have the same amount of energy, the same amount of enthusiasm, everything that he had on stage as he does just walking out and doing it, whatever, because he was just trying to get good.
Yeah.
So
it takes that.
Yeah.
I wrote a song called Empty Chairs for this next record, and it's like the most recent song that I've written. And it's about, playing for like everybody and then playing for nobody. And it's like the most honest song I've ever written. And I played it that night in Galveston, and that was the first time that I've played it live.
Yeah.
And I think I cried afterwards. But it's I think really important for people to play, like, it keeps you humble and it builds your character, and it's easy to play for a lot of people. It's not easy to play for less people.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Vulnerability.
Yeah.
We all have it. We all have it.
Yeah. Yeah. The band takes it hard. They take it hard if we don't have a good crowd. And I always try to be really positive. I'm like, it's okay. But no one takes it harder than me at the end of the night,
Yeah. Well, that's
part of the job.
Yeah, that's the responsibility, right? Mm.
Yeah, everybody has bad nights. I mean, we've opened for our big guys who there's been nobody there, and that was their headlining gig, so it happens. Just gotta roll with the punches. Yeah.
Bummer.
I know.
Okay, what's going on here?
Well, I know. Speaking of, I hope there's people at the show tonight because it's the first time I've played at Armadillo Palace. I played a private party here. 3 or 4 times. Never my own gig.
Yeah.
So I'm excited and nervous. I hope the crowd's good. So.
What's your favorite festival?
Festival?
Or what? Answer that question. I'm asking you another one.
Yeah. Well, I love Steamboat. I love Steamboat.
I'm jealous. I've been trying to go to Steamboat for the last 7 years. In my job that I have, I work turnarounds in refineries.
Okay.
So all our turnarounds are in January because that's when it's cool and it's not 110 degrees outside and people falling out with heat stroke. So all of our work is we plan around doing it in January. So I'm on 712s, can't get off.
Well, are you off in February?
Possibly.
Okay.
This year's gonna be different. I started a new job.
Okay.
So, I'm actually planning on bringing the wife and kids to Steamboat the week after December.
Okay.
For Christmas, ski trip for the kids for Christmas, right?
Right.
And then we're gonna ship them back, and then the wife and I are gonna stay for Steamboat.
Oh my gosh! Well, please let me know if you go.
Yeah.
I don't. Now I've stay in. The fun part about Steamboat is the late night jam sessions, and you get free skiing. So for the first years, I would stay up and jam till 4 a.m. because you're sitting next to Reckless Kelly and Gary P. Nunn and passing around guitars, and then I'd get up and ski, and then I'd play shows at night, and every year I'd get sick.
Yeah.
For weeks,
Yeah.
and so now I'll take it a little more easy. Maybe go jam late one night, maybe ski one day, and not get sick.
That's that maturity level going, Miss Bri Bagwell.
I know, but it's still my favorite festival.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I've heard nothing but good things. I'm so sad every time all my friends go and I can't go. There's a whole group of the Santa Fe boys that go down there, and they all bunk together and they all party together. It's becoming more so. David and his group has been going for a long time, and then some of the younger guys around my age, and then even some younger people than me are all going, and they all kind of hang out when they go up there. So
we, speaking of your boy David Grace, he's going to be at the show tonight. So I'm hoping he'll get up and sing a song
the guy's
with me.
Good.
He is so good.
Yeah.
Every time I'll play a private party or something, and they're like, I'm like, can I bring somebody with me? And every time I bring David, and then he's the show stealer of the century. But I'm not mad about it,
Yeah.
Never mad about it. So
Yeah. No, he's a cool cat, man. We've always been proud of him from Santa Fe, right? So
I know, and you should be. He's great. So we'll get to see him tonight, hang out with him. But what I was saying about February is they do that Key West Mile Zero Fest.
Hey, now we're talking.
And it was really fun. I did it last year, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm already going back next year.
Cool.
So it's in February, and it's 4 days, all Texas country. This year the lineup was unreal, Jack Ingram, Charlie Robinson, Cody Jinks, Wade, William Clark Green. It was this basically a Steamboat, but in Florida.
Awesome.
So
I'm gonna check that one out too.
yes, you should come. It's really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about, have you gone to the pub crawl, the Texas pub crawl?
Not yet, but I'm going this year.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Shut up. Well,
I am.
So bad.
It's in November.
Yes, it is.
TexasRedDirtPubCrawl.com,
Yes, it
I
is.
think, and I'm going this year. I'm also going to Mexico this year, so people can come.
Yeah, you're
to
getting
that.
me in trouble with that, by the way.
GuitarsandSwimUpBars.com.
So, go ahead.
No, are you? You were already going to Mexico
We're going
once.
to Puerto Vallarta on
I saw that.
the 3rd to
I saw that.
where we're going, 3rd to the 10th or something like that. And then Missy's like, we should go to Cancun. I'm like, I told her, I said 2 Mexico trips in 1 month. That's pretty risky.
That came through my email in a mention or something. I was like, oh my gosh, no, you should go again.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And then it's me, Steve Holmes, Bo Phillips, who's Stone and the Ruse brother. I'm sure he hates that. That's how he's always introduced because he's so great on his own. And Jamie Richards. And so it's me and 3 40-year-old dudes, and they always do tequila shots after every round. And I'm like, I love y'all, but I'm like half your size and a chick. I can't do tequila shots every round. So one time I poured one out secretly and they took it, and the whole front row, they just booed me. So I went back I'm like, I'm coming back this year, but on a stipulation. I'm not doing tequila shots.
Just switch it with water.
Every round.
Just be like, hey, pour me water in this tequila bottle.
Slip that bartender some money and say, hey. But the bartender will probably be like, nope, you're in Mexico. Tequila it is. Let's do it.
That's funny. Tequila is the water.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming to a compromise. I may be sending the wife with some of her friends.
Fun.
To go. I think I might have to do that.
Well, please do, because I'm bringing my best friend this year.
Yeah.
And she's like afraid to be by not afraid to be by herself, but if she had a bunch of other girls to be in the pool with while I'm on stage, she would be happy.
We'll talk shop.
Cool.
Yeah. But
I love it.
yeah, like I said, you get me in trouble with all that. She's like, let's go to Mexico. I'm like, we're already going.
It's a perfect girls trip. I got a bachelorette party coming too, so girls trip 2018.
There you go. So what is the whole Irish pub crawl? I'm very interested in that. I found out about it last year, and then I was like, we need to do this sometime. Especially, it's been going on for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, and I have never been. I've always wanted to go. I know Mark McKinney is my bud, man, and his wife is one of my best friends. So they're going, and Steve Helms, Dirty River Boys are going this year. Copper Chief is going this year. It's going to be Sarah Hobbs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of a mess. I'm actually really worried for my liver. Those are all people that drink more than me, which is saying a lot. And we just go, like, I guess 5 or 6 days to a different pub every day.
That's cool. Yeah, there was a ton of shows. They were like, I was reading all about it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's one that not a lot of people know about either. I feel, I don't know, at least in my world, right? Everybody knows Steamboat.
Right.
But the other big festivals that go around, I was like, because I like traveling as it is, right? And so I told the wife, we need to go trying to start hitting this other stuff up. So.
Right. No, I think it's gaining popularity, and I hope it. I'm trying to talk my parents into going, but I think it's a really good way, because those kind of trips, I think what people maybe don't know about them is, like, if you want to hang out with the artist, not that everyone cares about that, but if you do, like in Mexico, it's like we all just hang out, and it's cool for us to get to know people, and then them to get to know us, where we're not like rushing and at a show, and we can drink at the pool together, and in Ireland hang at the pub together. And so if people are into that, I think those are the best ways to do it, because at a show, merch, I'm trying to do a million things, and I don't really have the time to conversate as much as I would like to.
Yes.
So
But again, you're very good at that too. When we were in Galveston, you were super courteous with your time and all that. I was just I was blown away. So it's hard to root against you, Miss Bri Bagwell.
Well, please don't. I need more people in my corner with the new record coming out.
Yeah,
so
hard to root against you. So the Irish folks, are they big into Texas? Evidently, right?
I don't know, because I've never been on this one, and actually I haven't talked to too many people who have. I know Steve went, but he was more talkative about they toured the castles and so he was telling me all about that, which is really fascinating. But I did get to go to France a couple of years ago, and they were very much into country music and Texas country, and actually the people in France had already learned, they'd made up a line dance to my songs. To My Boots and I think Crazy, and they'd printed out like the moves to their line dance and framed it for me. And when I played my song, and I think when we played France, there was 10,000 people there.
What?
And they were loving, and they couldn't understand anything I was saying. And I actually attempted to translate one of my songs into French and completely butchered it. But they were so like, for trying. And that was like just a really neat experience.
Yeah.
And they had cowboy hats and boots and vests, and they looked kind of like a couple decades behind the style, but they were just
getting it up,
loving country music. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
who would have thunk it?
Yeah. So I've been to France, and I think there's another festival in Italy I'm gonna hopefully be on next year. So
yeah, that's always not strange, but surprise to me because I've heard that before, that Europe has a big country music following, that I wouldn't have guessed or wouldn't have thought. It never would have crossed my mind. I was recently watching an interview with Tyler Childers.
Awesome.
Where he was in Europe somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. I think he was in London. And they were talking with him about the whole scene and how he was, blowing up over there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? It always surprises me, like I said.
Oh, totally. And they have like I know there's a station in Sweden I do an interview with every year, and they follow the chart really closely. So if you get, in the top 10 on the chart, like they want to talk to you and they want to put your interview up, and it's really fascinating. And then when my iTunes report comes in every year, I got Australia, Europe, like all the sales in the different countries. It's crazy.
So it's funny you mentioned that on my podcast site that I upload to, it gives you a geographic of where people are listening from. My one listener in Australia, thank you.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, I don't know who you are, but I love you very much.
I'd love to go to Australia. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was pretty exciting when I got on there and looked. I was like, who's this guy down there?
I bet.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. There's it's funny, there's actually a few gals in Texas now that are from Australia that one I know and one I'm trying to get on the podcast. The gal's name is Jess Pryles. She lives in Austin and she's a barbecue chick. She's big time, like.
I love her.
Yeah. Do you know her?
No, but I just love her for being Australian and a barbecue chick. Like, that's so awesome.
She's all about Texas and drinking Lone Star and cooking brisket and all this stuff. And she just came out with a book called Hardcore Carnivore. And anyway, so I'm trying to email back and forth with her, trying to get her on. But Australia's freaking awesome.
You need to get my friend Jess that has the caboose on here.
Yeah.
I'll set you up with her. She's amazing.
Awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what else? What time we got?
I'm like, I got to be on stage in 22 minutes. So
we can wrap it up.
Let me see. Are they? Oh, hey! I was just looking to see if you texted me. I think. Mainly, thank you for doing this and meeting me. And I know it's always crazy, and you got like great equipment and stuff. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank you.
And my new record is coming out. I'm really this is kind of like my last.
What's the name of the new record? Do you know yet?
Well, no. I'm leaning towards Asphalt and Concrete.
Asphalt and Concrete.
I wrote a song called Asphalt and Concrete. And it sounds like it's about being on the road, Yeah. But it's actually about when I moved to Austin from New Mexico. And the hook of the song is, you can't plant a cactus in asphalt and concrete.
Yeah.
It's about moving to the big city kind of adjusting. And so I just would really appreciate everyone's support on this record, because I don't know how much longer we can be, like we were talking about earlier, put out records and really make a splash with it. And as an independent artist, with no label behind it, we're really trying to make history here. So, but I want people to buy it because they like the music, obviously. But if they, if they feel so
they just
inclined,
want to support you.
yeah. And a female independent artist, we're really trying to do the real thing here and make some history in Texas country.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Bri, thank you very much for coming out. This has been really awesome. A lot of fun.
I'm so glad. Sorry I was late.
Oh, no problem.
We don't have to tell everybody, but we just did.
No problem. So I'll let you get out of here. We'll close it out, and thank you again.
Be our fan on Facebook.
That's it. Hey, tell everybody your stuff. Instagram and Facebook.
It's Bri Bagwell, and it's BriBagwell.com, and then I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I got it all.
You got it all
and
over.
I try really hard to keep everyone updated. So
love it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Love you all. Thanks for listening. Woo.
Whoop.